Here is your full YouTube-style story with no headings, long emotional narration, Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 hooks, and the subscribe, like, share, comment line at the start and end exactly as you asked. Subscribe, like, share, comment. Today's story will touch your heart so deeply that you won't forget it for a long time. It begins with a baby, born into unbelievable luxury, yet rejecting every person who tried to love him, except one. The title is, The Millionaire's Baby Who Spat on Every Nanny, but Kissed the Poor Maid. And trust me, what you're about to hear will keep you watching till the end. Hook Chapter 1. A millionaire's mansion. A crying baby. A line of exhausted nannies quitting one after another. And then, a poor maid walks in, holding a torn bag, trembling with nerves. The baby who never accepted anyone suddenly stretches out his little arms toward her, kisses her cheek, and stops crying instantly. No one knows why. But that moment? It will change all their lives forever. This story begins in the massive glass and marble mansion of Adil Khan, a young billionaire widower who lost his wife during childbirth. The tragedy left him broken, hollow, and drowning in grief. And the baby, little Xavier, was growing with the same storm inside him. Every nanny hired to care for him lasted less than a week. Xavier would push them away, claw at them, throw toys, cry endlessly, and sometimes, yes, spit in their face out of panic and frustration. It wasn't his fault. He didn't understand. He only knew something was missing, something he never had a name for. Adil tried everything, the best child therapists, top-tier nannies from abroad, special caregivers. But nothing worked. He became more distant, more buried in his company, trying to hide from the guilt of not knowing how to be a father. Then one morning, as yet another nanny stormed out of the mansion in tears, the housekeeping manager reluctantly introduced the newest hire, a poor maid from a small village. Her name was Rani, no more than 22, humble, shy, and dressed in simple clothes. She had come for cleaning work, not childcare. But the staff shortage forced her into helping with everything. When she entered the nursery for the first time, little Xavier was screaming uncontrollably, his tiny face red from hours of crying. The moment he saw her, something strange happened. His cries softened, then stopped. His arms rose toward her like he had known her forever. Rani, startled, took a hesitant step forward. He kissed her cheek. And rested his head on her chest. The entire staff gasped. Adil, who was watching from the doorway, froze. Rani didn't know what to do. She had never held a rich man's baby before, but she held him the same way her mother used to hold her baby brother, slowly rocking, humming, calming him with the rhythm of her heartbeat. From that day, everything changed. But with change came whispers. The mansion workers began questioning her. Is she pretending? Is she manipulating the baby? What if the boss gets attached? Rani ignored it all. She wasn't there for money or attention. She was there because, for the first time in years, someone needed her. Little Xavier clung to her like she was his safe place. She fed him, bathed him, soothed him, laughed with him, and in return he offered her a kind of pure, innocent trust she had never received in life. But Adil wasn't blind. He watched how Rani transformed his son. How she sang him to sleep. How she protected him from every loud noise. How the boy grabbed her finger and didn't let go. And for the first time, Adil felt something he hadn't felt in years, hope. But hope always comes with a cost. Hook Chapter 2. Just when everything begins to heal, a secret from Rani's past crashes into the mansion like a storm. A secret that threatens her job, her reputation, and her bond with the baby. And when the baby falls dangerously ill, only one truth will decide whether she stays or disappears forever. Chapter 2 begins with a heavy twist. For months, Rani had been the center of the baby's world. Even Adil began talking more, smiling more, living more. The mansion, once silent and grieving, felt warm again. But people don't like when the poor rise in the hearts of the rich. A jealous senior nanny, who had been fired earlier, returned with a plan. She whispered rumors into the staff's ears. Then she reached a deal with a fabricated accusation. "Sir, that girl isn't who she says she is. She came from the city slums. She has a criminal brother. She's using your son to secure her future." Adil froze. The pain of being betrayed, again, stirred inside him. He didn't confront Ronnie immediately, but he grew distant. His eyes changed. His voice softened around her, but not with the same warmth. Ronnie sensed everything. One night, Xavier suddenly developed a high fever. The baby shook, cried, and wouldn't breathe properly. Doctors were 40 minutes away. Staff panicked. Adil stood helpless, shaking, unable to face the fear of losing someone again. But Ronnie didn't waste a second. She grabbed cold towels, held the baby close, whispered to him, fought his fever with every home remedy she knew from her village. She didn't sleep. She didn't eat. She stayed awake the whole night with Xavier in her arms, praying as tears soaked her sleeves. By morning, his fever broke. Doctors arrived and confirmed. If she hadn't been there, it could have gone very wrong. Adil collapsed into the nearest chair. He realized how wrong he'd been, how blind he'd allowed himself to be. Ronnie didn't care about money, status, or what the world thought. She cared about his son. Deeply. Selflessly. He approached her, voice trembling. "You saved him. And I doubted you." Ronnie wiped her tears. "Sir, I'm not perfect. But I would never hurt your son." Adil's voice cracked. "I know that now. I think he chose you before I even understood why." From that day on, Ronnie officially became Xavier's caregiver, not because she needed the job, but because the baby had chosen her long before anyone realized it. Adil began spending more time with them, learning from Ronnie how to feed, bathe, and play with his son. Slowly, he learned to love again, this time as a father, rebuilt from the ground up. And Ronnie? She found something she thought she had lost forever, a place where she mattered. The story ends with Xavier taking his first steps, not toward his father, not toward the expensive toys in the mansion, but toward Ronnie, giggling and calling her in the baby talk version of her name. Love is not bought. It is felt, chosen, and given freely. And sometimes, it comes from the most unexpected places. Subscribe, like, share, comment.